Turkeys. Today in the wood yard, I hit a bird on the way to work. And I've got a big bolt on my tire. Here we go. So today's video is going to be answering a few questions that come up, a few things I've thought about. I'm not going to be doing any work out there today because I've got a bunch of appointments I have to do for photography and my other business today. But I've got about an hour here, so I thought I would do a little short video just kind of covering some of the things that come up. And when I was on my way here this morning, I saw this little guy fly across in front of me and I thought I missed him. It's a catbird. I guess I got him. Sorry about that. And then I got here and I came around my truck and I saw this here and I thought, is that a rock? I looked and here there's a bolt in my tire. It's an actual lag bolt and I'm kind of afraid to take it out. I don't know how deep it is in there. It's obviously been there for a while. And my tire is not flat yet, so I guess I better go take that in and have it looked at so that I know if I can keep driving or not, or get it out of there before it gets worse. So that's got to be done. So we're going to go back in the wood yard and we're going to talk about some stuff right now. So for the first thing I'm going to talk about today is a question that comes up all the time because we have new people coming to the channel that haven't been here for a long time and don't know, and some of you might not even know this and just kind of figure it's a thing that I say, but there is a reason I say this all the time. The way I end my videos, Goodnight Irene. Number one, we say that in my family because my grandma's name was Irene, and whenever we said goodbye as a kind of a farewell, we would say Goodnight Irene. That's what we would say quite often. We still do it once in a while. So it's kind of a common thing that we would say, and I needed a way to end the video, so I kind of just started saying it and it kind of stuck. Also, it was the name of a song back in the 1930s, I think it was when it was first done. It was done by a guy named Leadbelly, and then it was redone several times by quite a few other famous people. One of them was Eric Clapton and a bunch of other people. And I guess it's a song that was played quite often at the end of dances. It's kind of a waltz kind of a song. And my father-in-law used to sing it all the time whenever that was the end of like a get-together. He would just start singing it. So that's kind of where it came from. So it was my grandma, her name. We would always say it as a family. My father-in-law used to sing it all the time, and it's an old song. It's kind of a neat way to end a video. So that is the story of who Irene is and why I say it's not my wife's name. It's Irene, was my grandma. So there you go. There's a little tidbit for you. Going to talk about something else next. Turkeys in the wood yard. So I had to see if I could chase them down. They're faster than me. So you just saw me do my little turkey chase there. There was a little flock of turkeys. They were eating gravel or bugs or something there. And I chased them away, and I chased them so fast and scared them so much one flew through a feather here when they took off flying from, I think it's a wing feather, I'm pretty sure it was. It went flying when they took off. So anyway, I chased the turkeys there a little bit. I did not catch any. I've never caught any yet. I've gotten close a few times though, because they're kind of tame. They're around here all the time. And they don't really get hunted at all. And I've never caught one by hand yet, but I'm gonna keep trying. I've shot them with a gun, I've shot them with a bow, but I've never caught one by hand, so wish me luck. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna keep trying because it could happen. So the next thing I'm gonna talk about is that question that comes up every once in a while. And I had a guy ask me just the other day, and it was a guy that, I think he's a homeowner. I don't think he cuts and sells wood or anything like that. And he asked me, when is the best time to sharpen your chainsaw? Well, that's a good question. Because pretty much the second you start cutting, it could be sharpened again because it's constantly getting more and more dull. My belief is that you can feel it. And that's because I cut so much. I just know when it's cutting well and when it's starting to get a little bit off. And really the best time to sharpen it, and a lot of you are going to agree with this, is before it needs to be sharpened. I like to sharpen after each tank. I like to. That doesn't mean that I do. Sometimes I'll go 2 tanks. It's rare, but once in a while I can go 3 tanks. But pretty much every tank is nice, just a touch up. Because I don't want to have to sharpen it, and I don't want to get to the point where I'm cutting to where you're forcing the saw and you're reefing on it and you're making dust instead of chips. You want to have a lot of the wood fly away in big chunks, not little chunks. And you don't want to have to work any harder than you have to. So to me, the best time to sharpen your saw is before it really needs it. Like I said, after pretty much each tank or every other tank is a good time also. You can feel it. When you're cutting, you just know. I like to actually have the saws be as sharp as possible at all times. So that means a little bit of touch up after each tank. And like I said, it's rare to get to where you can get 2 to 3 tanks. 2 tanks is pretty common if you got really good, clean wood, especially if you're cutting trees down. You know, if you're cutting a live tree and it's got branches, so when it falls, it's off the ground and you're not hitting any dirt whatsoever. The tree doesn't have any nails or fence in it, or you're not going to have any dirt and rocks and things like that. When I get log piles in, especially if they come in from a logger, a lot of times they're in their yard or they're being moved around in the yard or dragged in the woods. They're not, always off the ground. That's where you get a lot of sand in them, and that's where you can have problems. But yeah, I like to sharpen them fairly often, a little bit of touch up. I don't like to have to take a lot of tooth down to get down to where it's sharp. When you hit a rock, it's just terrible. And that does happen. When you're cutting, if you hit a rock or you hit the ground, it's just dull instantly. Shut the saw off and sharpen it. Better yet, what I like to do, grab another saw that's already sharp, start cutting again. I like to cut 3 or 4 saws in a row, got 3 or 4 tanks, take a break, sharpen them up, touch them up, then get back to cutting again. So before they're dull is the best time to sharpen them. There's a little tip for you. The next thing that comes up, a lot of guys ask me, how do I get so much done in a day? Because I just keep going, I just keep moving. I try to plan my days ahead of time so I know what I'm going to be doing. And I get asked a lot, how in the heck do you manage to cut a half a truckload of wood in one day? I did that on a video a couple weeks ago. I cut 8 full cords in one day, and that was just in an afternoon. I don't know, I just make up my mind I'm going to do it and I get to it. Just keep moving, that's the key. And start early, stay late, work harder than the other guy, don't give up, don't quit, try to finish your jobs. Kind of comes down to that. But I wrote down kind of an average day for me, because a guy asked me the other day, what's an average day for you? I don't ever have an average day. All my days are unique. There's a lot of days where I only get an hour or 2 in the woodyard to do work, because I've got another business as my main business. It's a photography studio. A lot of you know that. I've had it for 30-some years. I've been self-employed. So that's my main business. I get into the woodyard when I have time. But then there's other days I don't have any appointments, and I'll come out. God dang, mosquitoes are just chewing on me. I'll come out in the woodyard and work a full day. And a full day to me is a full day. I try to get here as early as I can and stay till I run out of daylight. That's the only way you get stuff done, because when you're self-employed, and this might be new to some of you that work, your 8-hour day for someone else and then go and play a little bit. When you're self-employed, you work as much and as long as you can every day. You just get in the habit of it. It's just the way it is. There's always stuff to do, so I always have work to be done. And I always want to get on it. And I have a list of stuff every day that I want to do. So for me, a normal day is, I'm not an early morning person. I'm not a guy that gets up at 4 a.m. because I stay up so late working. My average day is I'll start at 6:30-ish. I wake up right around there, 7 o'clock at the latest pretty much. And I just get up and I go right to work, come right to work. I don't sit and drink coffee and watch videos. I don't have time for that. I know you guys do, and I'm glad you do. Keep watching them. I just get up and get here right away. I usually eat on the way here. I usually eat either some fruit or granola bars or something like that. I don't sit and eat a breakfast generally. Very rare that I make anything in the morning. It takes too much time. I'd rather be working than sitting and eating. I just like to work, so that's what I do. I get here. So I get here right away. First thing I do in the morning when I get here is I'll either come right out and start working in the woodyard, or I get right to work, getting ready for the day's work in the studio. And then if I get time out here, I get out here as soon as I can. I actually bring a change of clothes. I actually have a complete wardrobe change right here. I have a couple sets of clothes for the woodyard and a couple sets of clothes for working inside. And I have a nice bathroom in there, so I can get all cleaned up in between cutting. I go in, wash up, and I go to do my other work. Or I go the other way around. I work in there, all day long, and then I come right back, change, and I come right back out here and I get working. And I just stay at it. It's just constant doing more, always thinking about, oh, I got this to do, I got that to do, I got a list of all the stuff that I want to get done. I try to do a little bit every day out here. If I have days where I've got deliveries, those I try to schedule in, to where it's going to work good for my photography schedule and getting work done out here. A lot of times I'll have wood loaded ahead of time in the trailer or in the truck, so I'll go deliver it right away first thing in the morning, then come here to work. Or I'll have it ready to go, so at the end of the day I can deliver it right away. So I can just go deliver, load, and then come back and work. So you just constantly got to be thinking about, what needs to be done, what has priority, and then I get those things done. So a lot of days, and I wrote this stuff down because people ask me what I do in my other business. Well, I do photography, but besides the photography, I do a lot of editing. And what that means is that I'm going in and I'm color balancing and selecting out the best images for each person that I photograph. I have to do that for everything, whether it's an individual or a team. We do a lot of team photography, sports photography. It's noon right now, so the whistles are blowing, if you hear that in the background. I do a lot of editing, and that I do a lot at night. So I will do photography during the day a lot of times. I'll come out and work in the wood yard for 2, 3, 4 hours, whatever I can get in before dark. Then I go back into the studio, and then I'll do editing, and that I might do for 3, 4 hours. A lot of times I work till 10 o'clock, sometimes 11 o'clock. Once in a while I'll last till midnight. Then I go home, and then I work on my YouTube stuff. And when I work on the YouTube stuff, I'll edit a video from that day or from the previous day, or a couple of them if I'm behind. That usually takes me an hour or so, and then I work on doing comments. And I'll do comments till a lot of times 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, or editing. I just work on it and then I get back up. So I'm getting 5, 6 hours of sleep, and it's pretty average for me. That seems to be all I need. Once in a while I'll sleep in and get a little bit more sleep. I'll sleep 7 hours and I feel like Superman. But that's about all I need is 5, 6 hours. So pretty much I work all the time. So for those of you that wonder how I get a lot done, I just keep moving. I work in my photography business a lot of hours. In an average week, 50, 60 hours in my photography business. I work in the wood yard 30, 40 hours, and then I work on YouTube another 20 hours. I don't know, something like that. I just keep working. There's always work to do, but I like it. It's what I want to do. So that's all I got for you today. I just thought I would cover those things because people do ask me about those, and tomorrow we'll be back in the wood yard doing real work, manly work, or if you're a tough girl work. We're gonna go out and do some splitting tomorrow is my plan. That's the plan for tomorrow, because I got a full day tomorrow. So I'm gonna do as much splitting as I can, and we've got deliveries tomorrow, so that's what's gonna happen. So I'll see you back here tomorrow in the wood yard. I know you're gonna be back, I'll be here. Between now and then, get outside, get cutting. Good night, Irene.